Hey, and we're live. Happy Valentine's Day weekend Friday. Well, I guess it's not actually Valentine's Day. I mean, that's not a big secret at all. But it does feel like Valentine's weekend, doesn't it? I'm so excited about my guest today. Tera and Josh. It's just I love being around them because they're so full of joy and I think you'll love them too. So, so without further ado, let's get cracking going. I don't know where cracking came from. Um, hey, let me tell you about Tara and Josh. I chose Tara and Josh for the Valentine's episode because every time I'm around them, I'm inspired by the joy they find being together as well as the kindness they exude. Please tune in for the next hour to discover more about what makes them such a brilliant couple and their words of gentle wisdom for other couples. So, without further ado, let's welcome Tara and Josh. Hey,
Hello,
hey,
everybody.
how are you two?
Good. How are you?
We're good, thanks.
I'm really good. First of all, let's do a temperature comparison. I see you're wearing a stocking cap, Josh.
Yeah.
So is your temperature below 40 degrees?
No, I think it's right at 50 something, 50 degrees. Yeah.
Oh,
I know it's sad.
it's
What's
like
it there?
-6 here.
Yeah.
Woo!
Yeah. We're fair weather people. We usually bundle up if it's below 60.
We do, actually.
The one nice thing about the Midwest is we have central heating. So it's warm, which is nice.
So you can survive it. That's good.
Yeah, because else I would literally be purple with frostbite right now. Oh, I should get my microphone in front of me.
There you go.
Probably good.
I've got mine too.
Can you hear me better?
Yeah.
Oh, shoot. Are we getting echo?
Nope. Are you? Are you?
Can I hear echo?
Echo?
I think we're good. So the first question I like to ask every couple is how did you guys meet? Because there was one time you didn't know each other, right?
Yes. What if am I telling a story or you telling a story?
You tell it. You tell it better.
Well, I knew about Tara, I think, a year or two before she knew about me, through social media and circle of friends that live in San Diego. I actually grew up in Los Angeles, and I would come down and visit friends in San Diego, get-togethers every once in a while. And I saw Tara at one of the gatherings once or twice, but didn't get to meet her or introduce myself. So at future events, I would always look at the invite list or the going list to see if she was going to be there, so I could see if I could get to know Tara more. And nothing really happened for a year or two.
For a
And so
year or two. Wow.
yeah, I think it was maybe a year, but we finally ended up meeting at a music festival. I was introduced to her and we became friends on Facebook, but didn't really do much more than say hello here and there over Facebook. And then a year later, I was at Coachella, and I'd come back from the first night and feeling pretty groovy. I was with my friends staying in Palm Springs, and I went on Facebook and I noticed that it was Tera's birthday. So I sent a message to Tera. I said, I know we don't know each other very well, but I hope our paths cross in the near future. I'm excited to get to know you better. And the next day, I was at Coachella the second day, dancing by myself in the dark, and someone comes and taps me on the shoulder, and it was Tera.
Wow.
So I don't know how she found me there, but she can tell you that story.
So Coachella is just a small festival with like 50 people or 100 people?
Yeah, a couple hundred maybe. Yeah, pretty small.
Seriously, how big is Coachella?
I think, what, 50,000, 60,000?
Around there, yeah.
Yeah.
So the fact that you saw Josh and tapped him on the shoulder there, well, what is that? Like, how did that happen? Out
What
of
are the odds? I don't know.
50,000?
The odds of that happening are very slim. It's even hard to meet up with people you're intentionally trying to meet up with at Coachella. So I went to Coachella for my birthday with two friends, and we got back from the first day, and I noticed this message in my inbox from Josh, and I replied right away. It was late, but we were all still up, and I said thank you, and it's been a great birthday. We didn't tell each other that we were both at Coachella.
Yeah, neither one of us.
We didn't
Oh,
even.
really?
Yeah. We
Wait,
You
no
didn't
idea.
know?
No.
No, none of we didn't post anything, on our pages or anything. So it was the next day was quite a surprise. But I remember the day of my birthday. Just I like to get introspective on birthdays. So I remember just really asking, just whatever was listening, higher self, universe, whatever you call it, just that I was ready to meet and what I felt that day was just that, I'm ready to meet whoever is on the same heart plane as me. I had made lists and all kinds of stuff, and tried so hard to find like my person and made lists
for how many years?
Oh, for like 34 years, yeah. Long time. And made lists and stuff about what I was looking for, thinking, that those, the energy that I would put in would result in it. But it was just so interesting that when I actually just kind of stopped with the list was, and just really focused on my heart and really felt that and really just asked actually my heart to find, whoever was a match for me. And also just opened up and acknowledged my own fear and insecurities that are honestly always there. They're always playing in the background, but also saying, okay, hey, fear and insecurity, you're always going to be there. What if this time it's different? So I got his message that evening, and I replied back saying thank you, and yes, I would love to see you soon. And then the next day, right when my friends and I get to Coachella, we go into this tent, and I see this person, dancing, and for some reason I just knew. I was like, I know that dance. I know that person. So I was like, you know what, whatever. I'm just going to go up and say hi and see who this is. And it was him, and it was...
That was really weird.
Yeah, but it was just such a wonderful surprise, like that it was Josh.
Yeah, she had gotten to know my dance from the previous music festival that we met at a year prior. I guess I have some quirky way of dancing.
He's a really good dancer. It was very unique.
Yeah, so she knew the way I danced. That's why she spotted me at Coachella that day. So, but yeah, ever since then, it's been bliss.
Yeah.
If anyone has any questions for Tera and Josh or comments, please comment and we'll get to those. So Josh, I have to ask, what was that moment like? You've been kind of crushing on Tara
Yeah,
for several years, and suddenly at this huge 50,000 people,
yeah,
and you had gotten up the guts to say happy birthday the night before, and suddenly you get a tap on the
yeah,
shoulder and you turn around. What is that like?
yeah. It was very surreal. It was bizarre. And it was almost uncomfortable. I was like, oh, wait a minute, let me go talk to my friend. I kind of short circuited. But
I thought I scared him actually.
yeah, I was
Oh,
yeah,
sorry.
I was dancing by myself in my own little world, and she opened up the door, and I was like, what? Yeah, it was I think a lot of things. It was fear, shyness, excitement, um, yeah, wonder. Yeah, it was great, and we spent every minute of the rest of the day together.
We did.
Yeah.
So, so so for the people who are beginning to date someone new, how do you find things to talk about that first day? Was it a struggle? Were you trying to talk about the weather and stuff? Or?
No, no. I mean, I think one of the things that Tara and I both have in common is our love for music. So, there was 100 artists to see that day and share what we liked and what we didn't like. So I think
Mm,
the commonality of our music interests was really what carried the conversation along, beyond just attraction. We had a lot to talk about.
We always have a lot to talk
Yeah, and
about.
it's odd that I think even for the first few dates or the first few months, there was never a struggle for conversation. It's always just flown. Yeah, it's weird. I've had relationships where I've had to put a lot of effort in to keep a conversation going, but I don't ever consciously think of what I'm going to say next with Tara. It just comes.
Me too. Yeah.
And that's kind of how I knew it was the right person. And that only took a few days. I mean, we spent, after 2 days more at Coachella together, a week after that, we went to another concert together, and it just picked up right where we left off. Like we didn't miss a beat. So that's one sign for me that she was the one, was that there was no effort really involved. At least.
So, some couples don't have that many common interests, and but you both just naturally do, from music to cooking. What else do you both like to do together besides watching the Dukes of Hazzard?
Well, we like to do active things. We mountain bike. Josh is very into surfing. I used to surf, so we're getting back into that together.
Oh, fun.
I love yoga. Josh is dabbling into yoga, and he's amazing at it. I'm so jealous.
Oh my gosh, Josh, you're dabbling?
He's dabbling.
Dabbling, yeah.
He's dabbling. But yeah, we
Ah.
try to be active and try to share as much together as we can. We love to travel. So yeah, that's really nice. We love to make our home look better and do little home improvement projects together.
I think a lot of it is dopamine. I think whether it's eating really good food or listening to music or watching a good film or looking at art, or dancing, it's not necessarily an adrenaline. We're not adrenaline junkies, but dopamine junkies, and just anything that makes us feel good.
Yeah.
I think adrenaline and excitement, doing mountain biking and stuff like that is also important in a relationship. But it's nice to find, someone that, I mean, who doesn't love music and good food? For us, it's pretty easy.
Yeah.
Um,
you're saying it's not always like this huge moment of excitement, but that oftentimes there's just this gentle excitement. Am I getting it right?
Yeah. I think it's also, I don't know, what was the question again?
Well, like the stuff that brings us together, yeah, that we like to do together,
Yeah.
and that, yeah. I almost feel like it's like core, just the things at the core of each of us that really help to like make us kind of who we are and make us happy. You know, like we both really like we like home improvement. We like, you know, building a house together. We're home people, but then we also like to go out too. So we both just really match with our values. And I've always felt that, like, you know, it's so interesting. Like I've known Josh for maybe 5 years now, including when we first met. But I feel like I know, like I even know who he was as a kid, even though I wasn't there. It's just so interesting. It's like I can see that, and I feel like I just really know who he is, and I've felt that from the very beginning as well.
Yeah, I act like a kid a lot of the time too. So
So
maybe
do
that's
I.
why.
Yeah, it's just, yeah.
And it's only been 5 years. It seems like you guys have been together longer than that.
We've only actually been together just under 4 years. But it's like, yeah, I know. I know.
It seems a lot less. It seems like a year or two. And just, it's so fast and fresh.
Yeah.
Wow. So it feels fresh, but yet at the same time, it feels like you've known each other for
Yeah.
a long time.
Yeah.
I was looking at pictures of her when she was 4 or 5, and I was like, we would have been like best friends.
Yeah.
Aww.
Yeah, you should show him the pictures of
I
us.
will. Yeah.
Aww.
We have both our little kid pictures on the fridge. Yeah. So we can.
So you could have been grade school sweethearts.
Yes, probably.
Yeah.
So I mean, around dating and romance, there's a lot of. I mean, as you know, there's a lot of struggle about finding the right one, and a lot of stress involved. But from what you're conveying, what you're both conveying is that just doesn't really, like, from the get go, you went on that train of trying to impress each other. I mean,
Yeah, I didn't have to try very hard because I'm pretty impressive.
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding. No, it's yeah, I mean, I was all in when I first met her. I mean, I think the first couple of weeks we knew each other, I cooked her my first dinner for her. And I was like, yeah, that was.
He wooed me.
Yeah.
But nothing is really paid because he still cooks amazing dinners. Well, you know, I think another thing that I experienced in our relationship early on was that I allowed things to go slowly. You know, just I allowed our connection to blossom as it did, instead of, you know, really trying to push things along. Yeah, so that and I just experienced like this kind of gradual building of trust between us, but that gradual building to me really led to like really true, like a solid foundation of trust and understanding of each other. So that was the first time I experienced that, and that was really great.
Yeah, I think trust is very important part of our relationship. I think Tera is the first person I've dated or been with that I trust implicitly, and that's huge. Because I've had my heart broken a few times when I was younger, some betrayal and some lying, and Tara is the first person that I trust 100%, and that's a huge part because it can fester. If you have any doubts or suspicions or, trust issues, that can really poison a relationship. And I think we're both lucky enough to have that in each other.
Yeah.
And you're conveying this by your presence. You are in San Diego, and one of my friends, Maria, who's in Sioux Falls, halfway across the country, says just being in each other's presence is calming and peaceful. And
Nice.
Yeah.
It's really been nice too with, some of the silver linings of the pandemic is being able to be around each other. When she's having a tough day, I, come in and rub her shoulders, or, if I'm having a stressful day, she makes me something for lunch, and we're, being in each other's presence. Is
we love it.
It's really healing, especially during this troubling time.
Yeah.
And we've had some challenging family dynamics go on in each of our families, and being there for each other 100%, day and night is really nice.
It's really supported us through those hard things.
What would you say to a couple who they really both love each other, but who are struggling to get a peaceful, trusting rhythm in their relationship?
I don't know what the tools would be or the way to earn trust. I think trust starts out from just like kind of a gut feeling. I think I trust most people from the get-go, and if they do something to damage that trust, then it's lost. I don't know how to repair or work on trust issues. I think even when my heart was broken and, lied to, cheated and stolen from, I think I was, I had trust in these people up to that very moment. I don't know. That's a tough question.
I always I think that being in a relationship it's two people that have two different histories going on coming together. So there's a lot of times where one person really thinks they're speaking clearly, and their needs are being voiced clearly, but then the other person, they have their own filters, and so sometimes it's hard to really get on the same wavelength, and especially if the troubles that are happening are really triggering for both parties. We're by no means perfect at this, but we always try to take a breath and to take some time away from each other if we need that, if things are really challenging. And sometimes we actually need to go see a therapist to just kind of to referee us and to help for us to talk about just each side, because that's actually what really needs to happen, is each person needs to voice what's going on for them. But when it's so triggering for each one of us, it's really hard for the other one to listen fully to the other person. So sometimes you do need a third party to help.
But I think also open communication is the key ingredient, at least for my trust. And I think giving people the benefit of the doubt. I think it's one of the four agreements.
Definitely, we always remind each other that you're good at reminding.
Yeah, I mean, because you can really, especially with programming from your past and being hurt, it's really easy to see the worst in people, or create it all in your head. So I think if there's a relationship or a couple that's having challenges with trusting or suspicion, I think just open conversation and feeling heard and discussing what your fears are.
Yeah, getting vulnerable.
Because if you don't, it just manifests into you just create monsters.
Yep.
Hmm.
So I think even sometimes Tara and I don't have the communication we need, so we talk to somebody else sometimes for help in setting up that.
And those are, it's mostly for us. It's for the deeper issues and the ones that like I call them double binds, where it just anyway we can go into that later. But just the really difficult things, like when other family members are involved, like past child family dynamics. So it's I think it's hard for anybody to really traverse those on your own.
Well, thanks for getting giving some encouragement in the area. No, I'm curious. Like, think about year one of your relationship to now. What pleasant surprises have you both encountered as you've gotten to know each other more?
That's a good question.
Yeah, it's a good question.
I don't know. I don't know. You first.
Pleasant surprises. Well, I never knew I could experience love this easily.
Oh,
I always thought it would take work
beautiful.
because all the other relationships I did a lot of work. There was a lot of driving up to see somebody, or I would hold their stuff with mine, and
So literally, there was sometimes a very long distance
it was always
relationship.
there was always something that I think I was compromising a lot without really realizing it.
Mm, mm,
And then when Josh and I started dating, I could actually just start to really be in the relationship more.
mm,
I didn't have to work. He actually supported me.
mm,
Slowly. I didn't, because again, I feel like
mm,
just our slow kind of progression into trust and getting to know each other was really good.
mm.
Yeah.
You you keep mentioning this word slow progression, and it occurs to me so much in society has it, like in the movies and just culture has like a relationship has to go fast, and you have to be here on the second date and here on the fourth date, and uh, and you're saying what I hear you saying is that's not necessarily the pace that needs to happen for two people to fall in love.
That's a good question. I don't think there's like a designated pace for anybody, but what I do think is important is to pay attention to gut feelings, you know? Like, I mean, I could say that we did go slow because in the entirety of things we did, but at the same time, like, we did have some pretty important and kind of serious conversations even at the start of our relationship, just to make sure, just so that it was more for me. I just wanted to make sure that we kind of had the same goals in life before we continued. So and that, like, I had an impulse that I needed to talk about this, and also so that I could understand where he was, and also fully respect where he wanted to go with his life. So, and some might say that that is moving a bit too quick, but, I think it really just depends. But I think more acting on your own inner impulses, but then at the same time, just enjoying the relationship for exactly what it is, and maybe not pushing too hard all the time too. Does that make sense?
Mm. So really listening to yourself and acting authentically, but at the same time not pushing too hard.
Yeah, and usually the other person, you can get clues. If you're pushing too hard, usually the other person, you'll get clues from them, or they'll tell you. Pump the brakes. Yeah.
What am I not asking about that that should be talked about this Valentine's Day weekend?
Ooh. I don't know.
I think so. I have a little bit of things. So the way that I view relationships, I kind of view them, well, not like the only way I view them, but one aspect of a relationship, I feel like it's kind of like a bank account. You can put in lots of deposits, meaning like, like the energy that you put in, saying this loving thing, doing this, this thing that would really help your partner. And then you can also take out like, hey, I really need some help with this. I need this. But what I try to do is put in more than I take out, because that's me feeding our relationship and helping it to grow like a sourdough starter.
Like a sourdough starter.
Yeah, so like just I always try to put in more than I take out. And then also acknowledging the times when, sometimes I do need a lot of support because there's some stuff that goes on that's just hard. And then, when I am able to, I really put back. Does that sound right?
Yeah. But I think another question that, you asked what couples that are in love but are having trust issues, your question was, what do they do? But I think there are a lot more issues than just trust. I think just day to day, I think to have a successful relationship, the most perfect couples are always going to have some adversity and conflict, and it's how you make it through those little fights or those little arguments that makes you stronger and build your relationship. I think communication or listening is one of the biggest parts, and I think creating a platform for you to be able to share what's on your mind and share what's heavy in your heart without being judged or without being interrupted is really important. So we kind of do this check-in thing, and we haven't really been doing it lately because we've actually been
okay.
We've been okay. But even if you're doing okay, it's still nice to check in, and you just give each other 5 minutes of.
And you set a timer.
Yeah, you set a timer.
It has to.
It's kind of like, what is it, the conch? Whoever's holding the conch. So sometimes you can have a pillow. Whoever's holding the pillow is the one that's allowed to talk, and you can't interrupt them, just so they can say, if it's something that's outside of the relationship that's going on, or even if there's some gratitude for how good things are. Nice to be able to create that little slice of time each day where you can share that.
And then the person without the conch, active listening, and then does some reflection at the end of that time.
Yeah.
Just so the other person who was talking, they feel heard and understood.
So I think that's a really useful tool in staying happy and yeah.
And you said even 5 minutes, huh? Even 5 minutes for each person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't, it doesn't even have to be 5 minutes. It's just enough, whether it's 30 seconds, 5 minutes, or
however much time you do have. But I think we do the cap on it because we got lives.
Yeah, I could talk for an hour.
So can I. And then it's more like.
And you'll get tired of holding the door. Your arms start cramping up.
But then as the listener, it's like, how much can I take in at that time and reflect back too? Because after a certain amount of time, it's too much.
Like 5 minutes or less is good.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
for an hour, you will be taking pages.
Yeah, exactly.
So 50 minutes ago, I heard you say this, and this. Does that sound right? And you'll be like, I don't remember what the heck I said.
it's important to keep it short.
I love the simplicity of that. What are there any other just simple things you guys do to? I mean, I know there's a lot, but
Well, another one that we do is we show our affection through touch.
Yeah, I think even just a scratch on the back is sometimes such a huge connection. I know I've had relationships where I was really hungry for just a gentle touch, like a hand on the leg or like scratching of the scalp. It does a lot. It's really healing and it's very comforting. And I think touch is super important.
Again, you don't have to touch your partner on the back for like an hour and a half.
No.
I try to get him to do
So,
that.
yeah.
I could be touched for hours.
Yeah, we both could.
Yeah.
Yeah, she'll take an hour's worth if I'm willing, but yeah.
I will.
That's it.
That's beautiful.
And also, words of affirmation too. Words, loving words and compliments when we can do that too. That's very helpful. And it seems so simple and like, oh, they would probably already know. It actually means a lot when you hear it. Even though, I said I love you 10 times yesterday. Why not?
I think also important because we're all guilty of it, saying I love you too without really any emotion behind it. Like sometimes Tera will tell me that she loves me. I'm like, I love you too. That doesn't really mean much, and I think it's important to be true to your word and just have some feeling when you say you love someone. Try and express some feeling in that because I think.
Yeah. I feel like when you actually feel into it, it helps the love to grow too. Yeah.
Also something that we do that keeps our, especially, I mean, it's hard during the pandemic, but having date nights or having a night, or a date day, just getting out of the house or having a nice dinner that's, outside the normal routine, that keep things fresh, especially when you live together, when you only see each other 2 or 3 times a week because you live in separate places. I think just seeing them is exciting enough. But when you're married or living in the same house, day after day, I think it's important to keep the relationship fresh with something exciting at least once a week. But yeah, like I said, during the pandemic, it's hard. We're running out of things to do. We used to go bowling, we used to go to movies, go to concerts, and so now you have to get creative and don't ask because I mean I can't.
We're gonna start skateboarding again.
Yeah. So what?
We're gonna start skateboarding together again.
Yeah, I'm teaching her how to skateboard.
Teaching me how to skateboard.
Oh, that's sweet.
We'll have a skate date.
Skate dates.
I think. Go ahead.
One thing we haven't talked about is you're also kitty parents.
Kitty parents, yes, we are.
What is that?
Our cat, Riley.
Oh, kitty.
Yeah, we're kitty parents.
Kitty parents.
Yes.
Yeah, that might make some people throw up, but. Yeah, we both love cats. So she's got a really sweet cat, Riley.
It's his cat too now. It's our kitty. Yeah. And Jason knows our cat very well too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So how does being a parent to an animal like enhance your relationship? Yeah.
She's I mean, she brings us both a lot of happiness and smiles and snuggles, but she's also very calming when we're when there's some tension in the house or tension between us, just the cat jumping in her lap can just melt everything away sometimes.
It does do that.
You know, and I'm sure that comes with a child or a dog or anything that, you know, returns affection. But it's yeah, Riley's good. She knows when something's wrong and she'll come and jump in between us. But I think something you didn't ask or we haven't touched upon is really having a sense of humor. And I've always had a really immature kind of, you know, I act like I'm 16 years old sometimes, but and you know, a lot of some people, yeah, she actually likes my sense of humor, which is, I think it's humor. Sense of humor is really healthy. Yeah, I wish I had something funny to say.
Get like, is that telling each other knock jokes?
No, I don't know.
I think I've told one knock joke in my time.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I can't define it, but you know, we're never very serious about anything. I mean,
not really.
Yeah.
So there's a lightness to what you do together instead of this is serious. No,
well, that's not true. I'm the serious one. Josh is the lightness one, which, you know,
that's a good balance too.
I really appreciate that. I really appreciate it because, like, he just does weird dance moves in the middle of the living room, you know, and I'm like deep in thought about serious stuff. You know, he just cracks me up. I'm just like, oh my God, you're so weird. You're hilarious. And I'm so thankful for that.
Josh, you've been holding all your real dance moves on me, dude.
Yeah. We'll have a dance party next time you're over.
So your mother serious one, Tara, and your mother the more humorous one, Josh. You said that. What are some other ways you guys complement each other's energies?
Well, Josh is very empathic and kind and really about other people. Like really about other people, even more than I feel like I have the capacity to. And it's just that balances me in a way that brings me kind of hope, you know, that the world is full of really great people.
Oh.
Yeah. He's yeah.
What was it like to hear Tara say that, Josh?
It feels great, and I think I to be acknowledged. I mean, it's, I don't know. She shares that with me a lot, so I'm pretty. I mean, it feels appreciated. You know, I make a lot of effort to take care of people and make, you know. Sorry, I'm at a loss for words.
You take care of people.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you do. I mean, even on our last time just talking, you're like, Jason, dude, you need to get your photos out in the world, and how can I help you? And it just feels so good that kindness, and yeah, you're taking care of people, even people across the country.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if your audience probably doesn't know, but I've worked for Trader Joe's for decades, almost 30 years, and that is probably one of the most feel-good jobs. I mean, just making someone's day is I don't know, that's my drug. So you know, there are people, customers that come through who I really try and make an impression on their day or make their day, and you know, you're gonna get some Scrooges out there that really don't want to be talked to. So, but that doesn't stop me. But hearing it from Tera, and other people that I'm making a difference or that they appreciate that, it feels good to be acknowledged. And she does that on a daily basis.
Mm. Mm. Any other ways your energy complements each other? I'm moving on to Trader Joe's because I'm getting very hungry for Trader Joe's food, so I'm moving on.
I think Tara's done a lot of self-help and workshops on dealing with, what would you say? I mean, I'm quick to get frustrated. Not that I have a short fuse, but I get frustrated and hurt pretty easily. I'm pretty sensitive, and Tara has been so calming and helps me see things from a different perspective and not take it so personal. She has a lot of tools that help me refocus my negative stuff into positive. And that is the most complimentary thing I think that Tara brings is just her ability to bring me to peace when I'm super frustrated or angry at the day or at somebody. She has all the right tools, and it's really impressive.
Speaking of such things, and I wasn't necessarily planning this, but before we go, Tara does have an amazing amount of tools. She's a craniosacral therapist, and she was mine. She brilliant mine for like 5 years or something. And speaking of craniosacral, after 5 years, I know it works tremendously well, but what is craniosacral? I still don't know what it is. I just know it works.
I don't either. We've been together almost 4 years, and I have no idea what it is.
But it works, right, Josh?
It does. It does. I have some idea, but she can tell you better.
Well, as a purist of craniosacral, it is a light touch body work that basically calms and balances the nervous system. So, but then experientially, it can actually be more than that. It can help to heal like trauma patterns that you have. It can help to heal different relational patterns that we have growing up, or with just how we interact with others. The whole point is to have right relationship with the therapist and to really practice that together. So it's so it can really take on many forms, but in its tradition it is a touch body work, but then it's also like a somatic experiencing type of session with a lot of talk therapy, and also gets you back into your body and to really trusting it and trusting its ability to move through life as your ally.
So not getting too far away from the Valentine's theme, what are a few or at least one piece of wisdom from craniosacral that couples could apply in their relationships?
So I would say that there are just like there's different kinds of touch and attention. And sometimes a person, even your partner, needs something different depending on the day or depending on what they want. So I would say from a craniosacral perspective, asking, how can I support you right now? And sometimes people don't know how. So you say, okay, would touch feel good? And they say, I think so. And you say, okay, how is this touch if I'm really close to
Ooh, I
you
like that.
and giving you a squeeze right now? Does that feel good? And then you can kind of squeeze and melt in together. Or maybe just a light touch is helpful because the system is under too much shock. And so just a light touch like this and words can help also. I appreciate you so much. Thank you so much for being with me. You mean so much to me in my life. Everything you do is just so beautiful. You know, and sometimes one of the most powerful things is, you know, if somebody does need space, you actually hold and acknowledge that space that they need and you stay there. Because so many times in our society, space also comes with lack of attention and lack of somebody being, space comes with being alone. So if we can actually,
Wow.
Yeah.
Space comes with being alone.
Yeah, which it doesn't have to.
Wow.
So if we could just hold that space that they need with so much love in our hearts and almost with a fire to protect that space for them, that can be very healing too.
So this is a whole different episode. But what I'm getting from this is maybe couples often like touch each other in habitual ways. And they just get into patterns of touch, and you're saying that's not necessarily what either partner needs on a specific day, and you don't really know unless you inquire.
Right, exactly. Inquire and then also experiment too, because sometimes the other person doesn't know.
Mm.
And then we'll take time to just figure it out together.
Mm.
That's very healing.
Nice. Any last words of wisdom, Josh?
No, no. I don't know.
Okay. I'll say something. So you two started having me over for dinner sometimes, and it just felt like a celebration. It's so special. Like we're all. I mean, I maybe did one tiny thing in the cooking process, but you two are cooking together and going to the grocery store, and this is just this ritual of celebration and of joy, and I'm amazed and Holland that you two have so much love that you don't only have to keep it between the two of you, but it can exude out to your friends and now to anyone watching this podcast, and it's a nice way to be.
It's our pleasure.
Thank
My
you.
pleasure.
Mm.
When are you gonna come over for dinner?
Yeah, we're doing another theme night.
I wish. I mean, we would be. How warm is it? Even if it's 50, we would be eating
Yeah.
outside tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't care if it's 45. We would still be eating outside right now.
You bringing up the dinners that we've had together really does kind of remind me how much love and happiness comes out of the kitchen. And I think a lot of the younger generation these days have either not, never been taught to cook. But I think people should make efforts to, share time in the kitchen. Even if it's imperfect or even if you make mistakes, it's fun going and buying the ingredients together and reading a recipe and like, cooking side by side. But even more so having people over and being able to share that with someone, it's we love doing that. So we're glad that you've been part of that and that you appreciate it. So hope there's more to come.
Yeah, me too. You prompted the last question by saying even if it's imperfect, and thank you. Thank you, because I talk about doing our imperfect best. And what I mean is even if mistakes happen or different things happen, we still go towards the best we can be.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I mean. But I love asking people what does doing your imperfect best mean to you?
Is that the question?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think doing my imperfect best means that I'm not attached, or I'm not really thinking about the outcome. I'm enjoying the journey or the experience.
And what does it mean in terms of being a couple? What does it mean for a couple to do the imperfect best?
I think it's still enjoying. I think it's still, well, the thing that really comes to my mind is just like letting the heart lead when it comes to couples, because then we're not measuring and we're not measuring, we're really just experiencing together. And then also, like, I mean easier said than done, but then we're not and then we're actually feeling our way through, and if we need to stop or slow down, we can, and we understand why. And
Yeah, I think if you're trying to stay in the moment too, you're not failing at a goal. You're just you're living in the experience as you go, instead of trying to have like I don't know what is a good analogy. Like even just cooking, if you're planning what's a beef Wellington, something you've never done before. The end result could be a disaster. But as you're going, even though the beef Wellington is imperfect, I mean, all the little steps together, if you're in the moment, it was something new, and so I think,
and enjoyable.
Yeah, so I think, what did you say before?
I was talking about like letting the heart lead more, like when it comes to relationships, and that's kind of the key to allowing imperfections.
Yeah, what she said.
I don't know about your beef Wellington example,
I've never made it before. So.
Josh, because I'm seeing your beef Wellington as being perfect and tasting so
That's
good.
why I use it as an analogy, is because it's such a precise, it has to be cooked in such a way, but
it'll be yummy. It'll be yummy. Be so good.
It'll still be yummy if it doesn't look good.
It'd be yummy. And we could eat on the porch, and it would be warm. It would be 50 degrees.
Yes.
Oh, well, thank you, Tera and Josh, so much for gifting me and the Awkwardly Awesome podcast audience your energy, your wisdom for the last hour. It was. I'm feel so fortunate to have you.
Likewise.
Thank you for having us, Jason.
Yeah, thanks for thinking of us.
We love you so much.
Love you both too.
Let's talk on Valentine's Day.
Yes, we'll have a call about it.
Yeah, let's. And please stay on for a sec now.
Okay.
And thanks everyone who came on. I know your time is important, and thanks for spending some of it with me and with my guests Tera and Josh. Okay, say bye.
Bye.
Oh, okay. So wasn't that a neat conversation? Tara and Josh are so awesome. So now the thank you video portion of this, which if you have watched, you have seen this before, but it's the ending. So watch it and maybe you'll see something new. But maybe you won't. Maybe you'll just be like, hey, I saw this before. Okay, either way, bye. Hey, oh my
Hey.
gosh. You both are amazing. How was that for you?
It took me out of my comfort zone, which was good.
Nathan, I have a work call right now that I have to go to.
Okay, it was amazing.
That was
well,
fun.
Thanks for having us.
Sweet. Thanks. Let's talk soon.
Okay.
Yeah, let's talk on Valentine's Day.
Love you,
Okay,
buddy.
girl. Love you too. Thank you.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.